The more you kind of dive into that, the more I'm really realizing how deeply rooted racism is into like my everyday thought process.
A living, embodied anti-racist culture does not exist among white people. White people got to start getting together specifically around race.
White accountability groups are really helpful.
There's a period of deep shame for being white.
This is really sick, and it's a complete dead end that will tank the country if we allow it to continue. Everyone is created equal in the eyes of God, and if you don't act that way and judge people based on who they are and what they do, the choices they make, and instead judge them on the color of their skin, it's over. That's very obvious. It's been obvious to people for a long time. In fact, it was universally acknowledged up until about 20 minutes ago. But the Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos, the New York Times, and a few other big outlets like CNN and NBC, are leading the charge in the other direction. The video you just saw, which is deranged, was released unironically without scolding comment by the Washington Post on Friday as part of a new series it calls The New Normal. Then a day after the video went up, the Washington Post published a hit piece on a journalist called CHRIS RUFO. Now, no one has done more in this country than CHRIS RUFO to expose so-called critical race theory for what it really is, which is racism, unadorned. It's systemic racism, if there ever was it. He has said that clearly, and they hate him for it. The Washington Post made so many errors in the ridiculous little hit piece that they had to post a list of corrections. Over at MSNBC, however, the race lady has not issued any corrections, including lying about how the FBI was on the case of the hackers who rearranged her blog or whatever. What a liar. She thinks that CHRIS RUFO and anyone else who doesn't like critical race theory is, can you guess? Yeah, you guessed it.
We've seen a growing movement to reframe how American history is taught in public schools. Well, some parents who are opposed to critical race theory as new curriculum aren't too pleased.
Just because I do not want critical race theory taught to my children in school does not mean that I'm a racist, damn it.
Actually, it does. It's just another example of Republicans turning kids into a wedge issue, just like their politically motivated attacks on transgender youth who just want to play sports.
Immigrant parents come to this country, I'm sure they were nice people, send their daughter to Harvard, and that's what you get. It really is. Our system produces the worst people. They're not the worst people when they start. Most people are decent when they start. But our institutions at the top of the society produce people like that, and that's the problem. She went on to say that CHRIS RUFO was only disagreeing with her because he wanted to get on her show. Quote, "This is a weirdly aggressive way to get yourself on TV, Christopher. Why not just contact my booking producers like a normal person rather than going through with the white man demands option?" What a bigot she is, and an unhappy person. My word. CHRIS RUFO is, in fact, one of the most effective journalists and filmmakers in the country. We're happy to have him on with us tonight. He still remains. So, CHRIS RUFO, I'm surprised you're not in hiding after the Washington Post and MSNBC have decided, you should shut up. Be quiet, CHRIS RUFO.
Yeah, absolutely not. No, I'm eating his pieces for breakfast. It's really not fazing me at all. I'm laser focused on my mission. And the fact is that the Washington Post spent 3 weeks. They deployed 2 reporters trying to attack me, trying to undermine me. It backfired spectacularly. They had to retract or add 6 paragraphs in the story. They had to reverse one of their key accusations against me. They admitted to fabricating a timeline of events that was key to their story. And then they really couldn't provide any evidence when I challenged them, claiming that they didn't have an audio recording or a transcript of the quotations they used and had falsified. So it doesn't bother me one bit. I think it really shows that we're having an impact. We've woken up millions of parents to the dangers of critical race theory. They're now starting to take action in school boards across the country. And these neo-racist bigots are starting to get worried.
What's so crazy is that you're the opposite of the radical here. You're the moderate. You're defending a national consensus that existed in 2008 when Barack Obama was elected president. And the Washington Post said, and everyone said, this is proof that people are judged by what they do, by what they believe, by the content of their character, not by the way they look or how they were born. That was the whole point. And you're defending that, and you're the crazy person. By the way, we should say, we're going to do this on tomorrow's show, 2 people were arrested today, apparently at a school board meeting in Loudoun County, Virginia, when I think, at least in part inspired by your reporting, they went to say, whoa, you can't teach my kids this hatred, this garbage. Do you think that will continue?
Yeah, it's absolutely going to continue. We're seeing it around the country. And I think it's really important for viewers to understand the difference between equality and equity, which is really what we're talking about here. Equality is the idea that everyone is created equal, that everyone should have equal protection under the law. But equity, this idea that sounds good, it sounds soft and fuzzy, actually means something totally different. It means that they're trying to divide the country into competing racial groups. They're using active racial discrimination, which they call anti-racist discrimination, to try to achieve equality of outcomes. And listen, regimes in the 20th century tried this approach of equity. It left body counts in the tens of millions, and we shouldn't try it here. There's no chance that this will succeed, and we have to know exactly where it's starting, which is in our schools.
Please don't shut up. You know, whatever they do, whatever cost they extract from you personally, and I'm sure it's already been high, it's worth it. You're doing a public service that's really important, that's crucial. So I hope you'll keep it up. CHRIS RUFO, thank you.